Hey, listen, I am Rachel, the Destined One. So tonight, y'all, we finally made it through the first conference, and it was so amazing. It was awesome. The room was filled, and God just did what God does. And so, what I talked about at this first conference is the widow's oil. The widow went to Elisha in the Bible, and she said, she said, I don't have anything. They're going to take my sons if if I'm not able to pay my debt. And so Elisha said, well, what do you have in your house? And she said, all I have in my house is a little jar of oil. And so Elisha gave her the instructions to go gather the oil, to gather jars and take them back to her house. And he told her that those jars will be filled when you take them back to your house after you gather them from your neighbors. So the widow did as Elisha instructed her. And then all the jars, as she began to pour, the jars began to fill. As she began to pour, more jars began to fill. And then she went back to Elisha and she said, well, my jars are full. My jars are full. And so she was so excited because what the prophet said had come to pass, right? He told her, take that oil, take it to the marketplace and go sell it and pay your debt. So the widow did just as the prophet had instructed her. She took it to the marketplace. She sold her oil, and she had enough to pay for her debt, and she had even enough that was extra. She had an overflow. So tonight, as I talked about that, I had to tell the people about God telling me to do the conference, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to get done, but I knew that God told me to do it, and I didn't have anything. And so I want to encourage you guys today, because as I went along to do what God called me to do, God took care of everything. God took care of the food. God took care of the speakers. God brought the people in. So when that question is posed to you, what do you have in your hand? Use what God has given you. God will multiply the work of your hand. God will blow your mind, because tonight I was so nervous and some things was going crazy and people were late. But when I tell you, where God guides, God provides. And it was amazing. One of my speakers got her books sold out. She sold her books out. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. So when you go where God guides you, it is going to blow your mind. It is going to blow your mind, because my mind was blown tonight. And we had so many people there. I was like, wow, look at God. Look what God done. Just like the widow. When the widow did what the prophet told her to do, her jars were filled. She took what she had to the marketplace, and God multiplied the work of her hand. What is your oil that you're supposed to be taking to the marketplace so God can multiply and provide and take care? What is it inside of you? What do you have? Because it's something that you have. So, what do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? Go read the story of the widow's oil. Go look it up, because I'm so inspired by what God has done. I'm so inspired by it. So, I'm about to go to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long time coming to this conference, but God really did it, and I knew God would do it. I just had to get through it. So, I'm sending a big shout out to my kids. My kids were absolutely amazing. They showed up. Their father was absolutely amazing. So I have to send them big love, because they served. They did so much to help me do what God called me to do. And I could cry. I'm so grateful for my children. My daughters were amazing. They served like they do it all the time. They were taking care of people, and my mind is blown. But where God guides, God provides.